The new slang teens use to insult boys who are too nice to girls. So where does it start?
CNN wrote an article. I'm just gonna tell y'all. CNN wrote an article about simps, bro. And they're saying simps is a new word that is used to antagonize boys who are too nice to females. I don't know what you would categorize as too nice, so I'll let the article say it.
Do they define it? Do they actually classify when you're too nice to a girl and become a simp?
It's telling a story right now
Gen
from.
Z teens, go up real quick.
Okay.
Gen Z teens and tweens likely picked up the use of the slang word simp from social media usage. This is a 7-year-old man.
A mother picked up her son, and he was sad, or doesn't really say specifically what he was.
Being called a simp.
Yeah, just that he was being called a simp. The mother didn't really know what it meant.
He's telling me this, and I'm driving. I'm trying to make sense of it. She said, "I've never heard the word." He told me it basically means I'm just being nice to girls because I like him. She said, "I was like, wait, my kid is being picked on for being nice to girls." Ugh. Yo, sometimes I wonder, like, what day is it when we get old and we just stop comprehending that we were once in school? I'm so confused. Because were you like this in school is what I always used to wonder when parents would give such bad advice for such small social issues. So I'm going to be on, I'm going to go on a limb here and say he should be grateful that he's not being called gay. Like now, at least the most disrespectful thing they're saying to you is what?
Yeah, that was the insult we were kids,
before
right?
It was you're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were calling you a bundle of sticks with ease. With ease. And now
they flew out of your mouths.
Come on. And now they're calling him a simp because he probably was being cheesy or romantic and da-da-da-da. It's teasing. It's not like it's like if you see if you know I got a girlfriend.
He said right here it's because he was put in the friend zone recently by a girl who made it clear she wasn't interested in him, and they continued to be friendly, and because of that they were calling him a simp.
So let me tell you this much: they wanted the best for your son. Am I wrong? They were seeing that he tried with her and she didn't, and then she still want to be friends. They said, my boy, no friendship. You don't need to be friends with her. What, you gonna just be friends with her knowing you like her until what? One day she eventually likes you? I ain't gonna lie to you. That sounds pretty simpish to me. I'm tripping. I
think honestly, man, I've kind of seen the simp and the whole savage culture as a backlash. It's kind of like the dark side of feminism.
Yes.
Where it's like, feminism is growing in prominence. And so the original acts of chivalry that were supposed to be what, like, early feminism, not feminism, but like, it was like
femininity, what femininity desired.
So the original idea was that like women were so weak that chivalry had to be in place so that men didn't take advantage of women. But now we're kind of flipping that mentality and raising feminism, and so men have to learn that women aren't weak anymore, or at least like have that institutional mindset. But I think this is the dark side of it. Like chivalry is dying because of it, because it no longer is needed, and so simp culture and savage culture is being born. Where it's just like, I don't have to be a fucking chivalrous guy anymore because now if I'm chivalrous, I'm a simp.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit different because in John's specific example with this, I think I understand what he's trying to say. Like, if you make an attempt at a girl, like you're interested in a girl, you like a girl, you make an attempt at her, and then she turns you down, but you're still, like, trying to pick her up and still be her friend, even though that's going to come with you having to interact with her potential boyfriends and her interests.
Then she's
like, me personally, like,
benefit off of
any girl I've pursued, we've been friends, but it's in like name only. It's like yeah, we be friends, but we don't talk after that. If we bump into each other, like we're very pleasant, we're polite, we're not mean to each other or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kept it civil, but I guess the reason why they're calling him simp, I'm assuming in the situation, I'm going to assume here, speculate that he probably why they probably called him simp was
he was doing simp shit.
Hit the girl, hit up, denied him, and he just kept like probably putting her on a pedestal maybe. And the guys are like, dog, she turned you down, bro. Like, don't be a simp.
Like, don't be a simp, bro. Like, they wanted the best for like,
And
no.
then I would argue probably escalated from don't be a simp
And
to
then his mom is gonna enable
that's how-
more. Like, she's gonna.
how old is he is my question too. Because
No,
like you
8th
said,
grade.
8th grade. That's right, 8th grade.
14.
Dog, we were brutal in 8th grade. We were brutal.
Dog, you're talking about somebody saying simp, and he wasn't even crying. He was really probably more sad about the girl rejecting him than he was them calling him a simp. I just don't get it. I don't get how this comes into an article. First off, the word is not new.
Well, I do agree with Doc's point too that this is the dark side of the feminist movement.
Like what? Like what is?
Chivalry's dying. I mean, if you
Oh,
read old Knights' Tales,
oh,
they're all
hold on,
simps,
hold on,
dude.
hold on, hold
Like
on,
they
hold
would
on.
they would write sonnets to girls that were already married. They would,
Don't
like,
know how. Simp hashtags are rampant on TikTok. Instagram has over 350,000 posts tagged simp, and there are Facebook groups devoted to simps and simping. It can be a verb too. Depending on who you talk to, there's some debate on the word's current usage and how much, if at all, it has evolved over time. While simp's way back origins are connected to the word simpleton, I don't
Come on
know.
now, finish the sentence,
I
dog.
don't know. Its current usage is linked to the West Coast American rappers like Too Shorts, who first used it in mid-'80s in a way that denotes the opposite of a pimp. In his song
Pimpology.
Pimpology. Now let me tell you this. Let me tell you this much. From just hearing the word too short and seeing the word pimp, I'll tell you that it didn't come from simpleton. It came from sissy and pimp. Point blank period. There needs to be no investigation done at all. It's very quite simple. Sissy and pimp. You're not a pimp. You're the opposite. What's the opposite? A sissy. You're a simp. That's it. This person, whoever's right, I hate articles like this, dude. I hate articles like this, dude. Completely. Because they're trying to approach it from some objective, woke angle. But there's no real actual understanding. He's citing Urban Dictionary, bro. We can all put entries in Urban Dictionary. This is CNN citing Urban Dictionary. I bet you if you type
Urban
in
Dictionary's
go
top
to-
definition
go to-
of a simp
type
is
in
someone
simp,
who does
go to Google,
way too
type in
much for a
simp.
person they like.
go to simp,
that's
go
all
to
they have
Google,
to
type
go
in
on,
simp, and
though.
type in
Like-
Urban Dictionary, and I bet you there's gonna be one of the definitions that says pussy ass, bitch ass, and they didn't cite that one.
Someone who does way too much for a person they like. That's the most likes, and then
Keep going.
So, what's the purpose of the article, though?
and man who
Like,
puts the
Why didn't they use this one? Why didn't they use this one? You get what I'm saying? How do you go to this place to
A
cite
word that everyone
anything?
overuses without the correct definition. It means a guy that is overly desperate for women, especially if she's a bad person or dang. Suckas.
Idolizing mediocre.
I got
Some male who will do anything for a little bit of play for a female. He usually chasing around a female who not even worth the work or time. Example,
See, I
guy
feel like
one.
sucker has always been the original simp word, though. Like, it's just
Exactly.
modernized. Like, there's always been suckers in history,
Yeah.
and we've always known it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a word for them now, and they're sad about it. So my problem is CNN cites Urban Dictionary, but you literally go to Urban Dictionary and see how many definitions.
It's just whether or not the most upvotes.
And he didn't even cite the example. I bought her car. I bought her
This
a
one has-
whole ass car, a whole ass house, and we not even dating.
I think it's just because in the US, dude, like, ideology travels so fast with social media that, like, you're able to you're able to hashtag things, and you can put power behind words. And so when you do it with a word like simp, all of a sudden, like, people have to sit and decipher it.
I think.
That's interesting,
Okay.
actually. Okay.
I mean it makes sense. Okay, but now I can identify my problem. My problem with it is the internet thinking nothing existed before it. So like simp is new because we're saying it's new on the internet.
But we just say it's another word for sucka.
But we've been saying simp before we were using Twitter.
Okay, there you go. Yep.
So they get to write this article oh, Simp's this new trending da 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 da, just because they're just getting hip to it. But they're not the end all be all, and so that's my problem with it. Because
I kind of do get that. Like, if you simplify it to that point, it's just like child in America called a sucker, and then that's the headline for the article. And you're like, what the
new
fuck?
epidemic,
Exactly.
new epidemic, children being called suckers. Will be 60 minutes. We'll be live at 6. Like, what is that? You get what I'm saying? And now because you guys, so this is my problem, and it's not a race thing at all, but it's these middle America soccer moms. When they get hold of an issue, that's when it's an issue. So, simps, now it's a problem.
The world must stop until my issue is solved.
And we have to disqualify the word simp. Simp? And then you break it simpleton, this and that. This, like, the way you define it, and you're defining something that comes from a culture, not hip hop, not black, not anything, just literally a culture that you have no idea.
I think it came from Twitch, the gamer.
Simp?
I think it came from Twitch. That's the first time I ever heard.
It came from the gamer
that.
community.
Same.
But I'm saying, like, whatever. I'm just saying, just culturally,
Yeah.
something you don't identify with.
Yeah.
And I hate when people do that. Like, you just, they said this. Now I'm gonna place whatever small definition I found on Google, and apply that to, okay, now we need mass change. My feelings are hurt. Don't like the word. They called my son a simp. He needs to continue to be manipulated.
Like,
It's soccer mom shit, dude. He needs to continue to be manipulated by
they called him a
small
sucker.
children, females. I need him to ask me for $20 every week so he can buy this girl lunch. And when the boys chastise him because it's not the right thing for him to do, and he needs to mature and understand that everything that you want isn't everything that you need, and maybe sometimes that person may just not be for you and you need to move on, instead of him learning that lesson, now it's, don't antagonize my son. Those boys don't even know they're teaching him that lesson. They just understand that they can't look at what they're looking at. What they're looking at is wrong.
Am I wrong to think that I feel like we're having an issue? Not an issue. It's like we're trying to avoid some of our kids learning lessons when I feel like some of these lessons need to be learned.
And it's the moms. Dead ass. It's the moms, bro. The moms are okay. So let me put it like this.
Oh,
not to get too
Here
deep.
we go.
Not to get too deep. But I was watching a couple Jubilee episodes and da 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 da. Women have such an opinion now, and I don't want to say all women, but feminists have such an opinion on masculinity, and they actually are trying to steer us to their definition of masculinity that makes it safe for their idea of thinking, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, if you apply that to,
because anytime they ask a man to define masculinity, they'd never agree with it. But they're not a man, so what would they know what masculinity is?
Exactly. So now, apply that to this situation.
Just like they say, what would with femininity for them?
Apply this to this situation. So now the mom is trying to apply what she views as masculine because that's what she wants in a lover. Because that's what she wants in her husband. We're more romantic. I want my husband to care for me. I'm not saying her husband doesn't do it. I'm just saying that's what she feels. That's all she's equating it to, which is selfish because it's a woman's point of view. She's not understanding the masculine part that he's missing in the interaction. She's just understanding the conclusion of how the woman would feel based on the interaction. But she's not understanding that the woman would have to be deserving of it.
Deserving of it. Yeah.
Yes. Like, you have to be deserving of it. You can't just, because he's being romantic to a girl he likes, that means he's going to get her. This girl may string him. The girl may not even intend to string him along, and just because. Now you've taught two people bad habits.
Well, I think it gets harder than that, though, man. Because what if the child is just emulating what he sees his father do to his wife? I mean, like, technically, like, if they're in a loving relationship and the man is a caring lover, then technically he should act like a simp, you know what I mean, in like a perfect matrimony, and then the wife should, reciprocate it. So he's doing that to other girls in the way that he sees maybe his dad do it,
100%.
and then other guys are calling him a simp for it. And then so, like, you are right, like, he has to learn that he has to find somebody that's willing to reciprocate that properly.
I mean, not all men even know what masculinity is either. So I mean,
the boys, and it's funny because children, they always said 3 people are going to be the most honest: drunks, children, angry people, right? Children don't even understand the depth of the concept of what they're teaching him. They don't. it's just plain and simple what they're looking at. They just the concept of what they're looking at, it's not right. They just understand it's not right. They know what somebody being taken advantage of is. Point blank. And even if they're misconstruing the relationship between the boy and the girl, even though it says in the article she friend zoned him, even if they're misconstruing it, it's still they understand these are the symptoms of this thing. Just don't put yourself in position to be taken advantage of.
I'm just imagining the fucking journalist like interviewing the little girl and be like, so you friend zoned him.
Yep.
I don't think that. That'd be.
Do you have any plans on taking him out of the friend zone? And she's like sitting there twirling her tongue, her feet swinging. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is my third day here.
Ma'am, I'm from CNN. I'm here to talk to your daughter. So did you friend zone?
I like to interview the friends. So you guys said simp. What does simp mean to you? That's bullshit, dude. I just hate shit like that.
Let's get away from simp.
I can understand. Well, I'll just say
Speaking
like one last comment on it. I can totally understand it coming from the Twitch community though, because on Twitch, I've seen female streams, and dude, the comments like when you see the chat going up because it's just like fucking consciousness being thrown onto a wall. Like there is some simp like shit on there that is just like, dude, chill. Like you can even see other commenters just be like, dude, chill, just let her play the game, or like they'll be like, I love every time you blink 3 times when you click that button. Like I love every time. Like and that's like
drink the water
that to me, that's like simp shit. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, hey, he bought her flowers and like it just didn't work out on Valentine's Day.
So okay, so would a simp be the type of guy who would have bought Bella Delphine's bathwater?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's where it came from, and then it's kind of starting to channel into mainstream, modern day people outside of this weird collective, and it's now being thrown around as like a slang.
Because simp is a form of worship.
So
yeah.
Okay, let me ask you another question then. What if you were actually dating this girl, and no one knew, like this wasn't a public thing, but in private, like you would drink her bathwater? Would you still be a simp?
It would be a fetish.
And same with the essence too, with the what's it called, like
the vagina incense.
Yeah.
No, it would be a fetish, but no, it wouldn't be a fetish. It would be a kink.
So the only thing separating it from a kink and from being a simp and having a kink is
it's mutually beneficial.
And the other one's
I think
parasitic.
The girl is you being pleasured or being turned on by the thing is also pleasuring or turning her on, is when it's a kink. Like if you're in a relationship with the girl and you like to drink her bathwater and she likes for you to drink her bathwater, it's a kink because it's something you guys are sharing. Whereas if she's just packaging bathwater and selling it on eBay and you're in line to get the bathwater, you're a simp because she doesn't know your name. There's no mutual real connection.
Yeah. It kind of it is what it is. Or it's just like it's a sucker, man. You're just like you're giving 40% of your fucking.
That's the line. Check. Either it is what it is, or you're being a sucker.
You're being a sucker. So that's what you know. What that's what it is. We got to get the kids to start walking around saying, "You fucking sucker, you a sucker," and he gonna be in the car like, "Man, what's wrong? Man, they was calling me a sucker."
So what if guys are okay with being simps? It is what it is.
But
then, right?
I'll tell you what, the way English language works, sucker is way worse because it evolves based on a play on words. It never actually has to do with what it is. So sucker is gonna end up wild. Why? In 10 years, if kids are using sucker right now, in 10 years, you fucking blowjob. Like I'm telling you. In 10 years, that's the way that's just how slang works. It evolves off just something stupid. It's never like, it's just a play on words. Like how there's no cap. Now everybody's saying no kizzy. Then watch, it's going to be a play off of that, and it's just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. So no, we shouldn't use sucker, trust me. Or something I end up saying some real explicit shit in the back of that car.
So that's why it's like, are we okay with the simp now?
I would be okay with simp. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching a clip of Fake Deep Thinking. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Full episodes of Fake Deep Thinking are released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Check it out.